You decide to leave the house again, to shake the weight of its walls. You grab your coat and step outside, the air crisp and sharp with the scent of autumn leaves. You wander aimlessly, passing the shrine again. The offering box is empty now, no cranes in sight. You keep walking, the streets of Kyoto unfolding around you, their narrow paths lined with old houses and flickering lanterns. At a small bridge over a canal, you stop, watching the water ripple below. That's when you see it, a paper crane, golden this time, floating on the surface. You kneel, reaching for it, your fingers brushing the cold water. The crane is damp but intact, its folds precise, like the others. You hold it carefully, your breath shallow. No one is around, the canal quiet except for the soft gurgle of water. You tuck the crane into your pocket, its weight a quiet promise, and head back to the house. The streets feel different now, as if they're watching you, their shadows longer than they should be. Inside, you place the golden crane beside the others. 6 now, their colors a silent symphony. You sit, staring at them, and open the journal again. Hannah's next words are softer, almost resigned. I stopped folding cranes, she writes. They come on their own now, left where I'll find them. He's trying to tell me something, but I'm afraid to listen. What if he's not here to stay? You pause, your fingers tracing the page. The golden crane, the blue one, the white one, they all appeared without your hands. Are they Wren's or Hannah's? You decide to try something new, to reach out to whatever presence lingers here. You light a small incense stick, its smoke curling upward, filling the room with a faint sandalwood scent. You sit before the cranes, your voice low. Hannah, Wren, whoever you are, why are you here? The words feel heavy, but you keep going. What do you want from me? The incense smoke swirls, the room still. You wait, your eyes on the cranes. But nothing happens. The silence stretches, unbroken except for the faint crackle of the incense. Then a sound. A soft tap like a footstep on the tatami. You turn, but the room is empty. Your heart races, and you stand, checking the sliding doors, the ingawa, the garden. Nothing. The stone lantern stands silent, the maple tree swaying gently. You return to the table, and your breath catches. The black crane you folded is gone. The others remain, but the space where the black one sat is empty. You search the room, your hands shaking, but it's nowhere. You sit heavily, the journal open before you. Hannah's next line is a whisper on the page. He takes my cranes, but he leaves his own. It's his way of staying close. You look at the golden crane, its damp edges drying in the air. Did Wren leave it? Is he here, watching, tied to this house through the cranes? You don't want to believe it, but the evidence is piling up. Each crane a piece of a puzzle you're afraid to solve. You lean back, the incense smoke curling around you like a gentle hand. The cranes sit quietly, their wings still but heavy with meaning. You close your eyes, the house's silence wrapping around you. As you drift toward sleep, you hear it again, a soft rustle, like paper folding itself, like wings brushing the air. You don't open your eyes. You're not ready to see what's there. The air in the house feels different today, heavier, as if it's carrying the weight of every crane that's appeared. You sit on the tatami, the morning light soft through the shoshi screens, casting delicate shadows across the 6 cranes on the table, the original, Your red one, the white one from the shrine, the blue one from the street, the golden one from the canal, and the cherry blossom petal still curled at the edges. The black crane you folded never returned, and its absence feels like a question left unanswered. The incense you lit last night has burned out, leaving a faint trace of sandalwood in the air. You haven't slept well. The rustle of paper, the soft footsteps on the Ngawa, they've woven into your dreams, blurring the line between waking and sleeping. You open the journal, needing Hannah's voice to anchor you. Her next entry is brief, her words trembling on the page. I saw him last night, clearer than ever, she writes. He stood by the table, folding a crane. His hands were gentle, but his eyes were sad. I reached for him, but he faded, leaving only the crane behind. I'm starting to understand. The cranes are his heart and mine. You pause, your fingers brushing the original crane. Is it one of Wren's or Hannah's? You decide to stay inside today, to face whatever this house is trying to tell you. The streets of Kyoto, the tea house, the canal, they've all brought you back here, to this room, to these cranes. You sit cross-legged, the journal open in your lap, and study the cranes. Each one feels like a piece of a story, a fragment of Hannah and Wren's unfinished love. You wonder if you're meant to finish it, or if you're just a bystander, caught in their quiet dance. You reach for a new sheet of origami paper. This one is soft lavender, its edges worn from being tucked in your bag. You fold slowly, deliberately, your fingers tracing the familiar creases. As you shape the crane, you whisper, Hannah, Wren, show me what you need. The words feel like a prayer, soft and fragile in the still air. You set the lavender crane beside the others, watching closely. The room is quiet, the light steady. Nothing moves. You lean back, your breath slowing, and try to let go of the tension coiling in your chest. Then a sound, a faint rustle like leaves skittering across the Ngawa. You turn, but the sliding doors are closed, the garden empty. You stand, your heart beating faster, and slide the door open. The air is cool, the maple tree's leaves swaying gently. The stone lantern stands as always, its surface smooth and silent. You step outside, scanning the garden for any sign, any clue. That's when you see it. A paper crane, pale lavender, identical to the one you just folded, tucked into the grass. Near the lantern, you pick it up, your hands trembling. It's yours, the fold slightly uneven, the paper still soft. But you didn't bring it out here, you're certain. You carry it back inside, placing it beside the others. 7 cranes now, their colors a quiet chorus. You sit, staring at them, and open the journal again. Hannah's next words are a whisper. He moves them, carries them to the garden, to the shrine, to the places we loved. It's his way of remembering me. You glance at the lavender crane, its presence a mirror of Hannah's story. You decide to try something bolder, to reach out to whatever presence lingers. You light another incense stick, its smoke curling upward, and sit before the cranes. Wren, you say, your voice steady but soft. If you're here, show me. The smoke swirls, the room still. You wait, your eyes on the cranes, but nothing happens. The silence stretches, heavy and unbroken. You're about to stand, to shake off the moment, when you hear it. A soft tap, like a finger brushing the shoshi screen. You freeze, your breath shallow. The sound comes again, deliberate, from the direction of the garden. You slide the door open, the cool air washing over you. The garden is empty, the lantern casting a long shadow across the grass. But then you see it, a new crane, silver glinting in the sunlight near the maple tree. You approach slowly, your heart pounding, and pick it up. It's warm, its folds perfect, like the others that appeared. You carry it inside, setting it with the others. 8 cranes now, their wings a silent promise. You sit, the journal forgotten, your eyes locked on the silver crane. The house feels alive, its silence a conversation you're starting to understand. You don't know if it's Wren, Hannah, or something else, but the cranes are more than paper. They're a bridge, a wish, a memory. You lean back, the incense smoke curling around you, and close your eyes. The rustle comes again, softer now, like wings folding themselves in the dark. You don't open your eyes. You let the sound carry you, pulling you deeper into the story of the house. The morning sun filters through the shoshi screens, casting a golden glow across the room. You sit on the tatami, the 8 cranes arranged in a quiet circle on the table. The original, your red one, the white one from the shrine, the blue one from the street, the golden one from the canal, the lavender one that returned from the garden, the silver one that appeared by the maple tree, and the cherry blossom petal, its edges now soft and worn. The house feels different today, not heavier, but lighter, as if it's ready to let go of something it's held for too long. You open the journal, its pages almost familiar now, like an old friend's voice. Hannah's final entry is a single line written in a steady hand. I understand now. The cranes are our promise, kept forever in this house. You pause, your fingers resting on the page. The words feel like an invitation, a call to finish what Hannah started. You look at the cranes, their colors a tapestry of her longing and Wren's silent presence. You've been caught in their story, but today you feel ready to step forward, to meet it head on. You stand and slide open the door to the Ingawa, the air cool and crisp, carrying the faint scent of autumn leaves. The garden is still, the stone lantern standing like a guardian, the maple tree's branches swaying gently. You step outside, the cranes left on the table, and walk toward the lantern. You don't know why, but you feel drawn to it, as if it's the heart of this house's story. You kneel, your fingers brushing the mossy stone, and notice something new, a small paper crane, pure white, tucked into a crack at the lantern's base. Your breath catches, and you stand, backing away from the table. The rational part of your mind insists it's nothing, just a draft, but the house feels different now, like it's holding its breath. You slide open the door to the garden, letting the cool, damp air wash over you. The rain is light, misting your face as you step onto the Ingawa. The stone lantern stands silent, its surface slick with water. You squint through the haze, searching for that smoky shape you saw last night, but the garden is empty. You turn back to the room, your eyes drawn to the table. The original crane is still there, but your green one is gone. You blink, certain. You're mistaken, but the space where it sat is empty. You check the floor, under the table, even inside the pouch, but it's nowhere. Your heart races as you sit down, staring at the single crane and the petal beside it. The journal lies open, and you read the last line of Hannah's entry. He takes them one by one, but leaves me one to remember him. You close your eyes, the rain's rhythm lulling you into a fragile calm. You tell yourself it's nothing, just a misplaced piece of paper. But deep down, you feel it. The house is watching, waiting. The crane sits alone now, its wings still. But you can't shake the sense that it's not truly alone. Something or someone is here with you. Hidden in the folds of this quiet, rainy morning, the rain has stopped, leaving the air thick with the scent of wet earth and moss. You sit cross-legged on the tatami, the journal open in your lap, but your eyes keep drifting to the lone paper crane on the table. Its presence feels heavier now, as if it carries the weight of the missing green crane you folded yesterday. You still haven't found it, despite searching every corner of the room. The cherry blossom petal remains untouched, its pale pink a stark contrast against the dark wood. You haven't dared to move it again, afraid it might shift on its own. You sip cold tea, the cup forgotten in your hand as you try to make sense of the night before. The house is quiet, but it's not the peaceful kind of silence. It's the kind that makes you hold your breath, waiting for something to break it. You flip through the journal, hoping Hannah's words will ground you. Her next entry is shorter, her handwriting tighter, as if she was afraid of what she was writing. She describes a dream where Wren stood at the edge of her garden, holding a crane that glowed like moonlight. He didn't speak, she writes, but the crane did. It whispered my name over and over until I woke. You shiver, closing the journal softly. The idea of a crane speaking is absurd, but the memory of that faint rustle in the room last night lingers. You glance at the crane, half expecting it to move, but it sits still, its beak pointed toward the garden. You decide to clear your head, to step away from the journal and its stories. The house feels too small today, its walls closing in with every unanswered question. You slip on your shoes and step outside, the Angawa creaking under your weight. The garden is lush from the rain. The maple trees' leaves glistening in the pale sunlight. You walk toward the stone lantern, its weathered surface cool under your fingers. You circle it slowly, looking for anything out of place, a clue to explain the strange things happening. There's nothing, just damp moss and a few scattered leaves. But as you turn back toward the house, you see it, a flash of green in the grass, half hidden by the lantern's base. Your heart skips. It's your crane, the one you folded. Its wings crumpled as if it had been dropped. You pick it up, smoothing its edges carefully. It's definitely yours, the folds uneven, the paper slightly creased from your uncertain hands. But how did it get here? You glance around, the garden empty, the street beyond silent. You carry the crane back inside, setting it beside the original. They look almost like a pair now, though the first one still feels different, its presence sharper, more deliberate. You sit, staring at them, your mind spinning. Did you drop it somehow? Did the wind carry it? But the doors were closed, and you're certain you didn't bring it outside. You reach for the journal again, needing Hannah's voice to guide you. Her next entry is dated a week after the last, her tone softer but tinged with resignation. She writes about the cranes piling up in her room, each one a silent prayer for Wren. I saw him again last night, she says, closer this time by the Ingawa. He held a crane, and when I reached for it, he vanished. But the crane stayed. You pause, your eyes flicking to the table. The crane stayed, just like yours returned, you decide to try something, a small experiment to quiet the questions buzzing in your head. You grab another sheet of origami paper, this one a deep red, and begin folding. Your fingers move with purpose now, the motions, almost instinctive. As you shape the crane, you whisper, "Wren, are you here?" It's a silly thing to say, but the words slip out before you can stop them. You set the red crane beside the others, watching closely. The room is still, the air heavy with the scent of rain-soaked wood. Nothing moves. You laugh softly, shaking your head at your own foolishness. But then a sound, a faint tap, like a finger against the shoshi screen. You freeze, your eyes darting. To the door, it's closed, the paper panels undisturbed. You wait, your heart pounding, but the sound doesn't come again. You stand, sliding the door open to check the garden. The lantern stands silent, the maple tree swaying gently. No one's there. You close the door and sit again, your gaze returning to the cranes. The red one is still there, but the green one is gone. Again, your breath catches and you search. The table, the floor, the pouch of cranes from the storage room. It's nowhere. You sit back, your hands trembling slightly. The original crane seems to watch you, its wings catching the light in a way that feels almost alive. You open the journal, desperate for answers. Hannah's next line stops you cold. He takes them, but he always leaves one. It's his way of saying he's still here. You look at the garden again, the lantern's shadow stretching long across the grass. You don't want to believe it, but the thought creeps in. Is Wren here somehow tied to these cranes? You push it away, telling yourself it's just an old house and an old story. But as you sit there, the red crane twitches, just once, its wing lifting slightly before settling back. You blink, unsure if you saw it at all. The room feels colder now, the silence deeper. You pull your knees to your chest, the journal still open, Hannah's words blurring in your vision. The cranes sit quietly, but you can't shake the feeling that they're waiting. Just like the house, just like the garden. You glance at the petal, still in its place, and wonder if it's a sign, a piece of Hannah's story reaching out to you. The day stretches on, but you don't move, your eyes locked on the cranes, waiting for the next impossible thing to happen. You haven't touched the cranes since yesterday, but their presence lingers like a half-remembered dream. The original crane, the one that appeared first, sits on the table beside the red one you folded. The green crane never returned after vanishing from the garden, and you've stopped looking for it. The cherry blossom petal remains, a quiet reminder of something you can't name. You sit on the engawa, the afternoon sun filtering through the maple tree, casting dappled shadows across your hands. The air is warm, carrying the faint sweetness of late autumn flowers, but your thoughts are heavy, tangled in Hannah's journal, and the strange rhythm of this house. You open the journal again, its pages soft under your fingers. Hannah's words are sparser now, each entry shorter, as if she was running out of time or courage. She writes about the nights growing longer, the cranes multiplying around her. "I found one in my obi," she says, "another under my pillow. They come when I'm not looking, as if he's leaving them for me." You pause, your eyes drifting to the table. You haven't found any new cranes, but the idea of them appearing unbidden sends a chill through you. You decide to walk, to clear. Your mind of the house's weight. You slip on a light jacket and step into the narrow Kyoto street, the cobblestone slick from yesterday's rain. The neighborhood is quiet, the old houses huddled close, their tiled roofs gleaming in the sunlight. You pass a small shrine, its red torii gate faded but welcoming. You pause, bowing instinctively, and notice a single paper crane tucked into the offering box. It's white, its folds crisp, like the one in your room. Your heart skips, but you tell yourself it's a coincidence. People leave cranes at shrines all the time. You keep walking, the journal's words echoing in your mind. Hannah wrote about Ren with such longing, as if he was both her light and her shadow. I saw him in the street today, she wrote, watching me from the corner, his eyes soft but distant. When I called his name, he was gone, but a crane lay where he stood. You glance over your shoulder, half expecting to see a figure in the distance, but the street is empty. You laugh softly, shaking your head. This story is getting to you, weaving itself into your days. Back at the house, you slide open the door and freeze. On the table, beside the two cranes, is a new one. It's white, identical to the one at the shrine. Your breath catches and you step closer, your fingers hovering over it. It's warm, like the first one, as if someone just folded it. You look around, the room unchanged, the sliding doors still closed. Your heart races as you check the locks, the windows, but everything is secure. No one could have come in. You sit, staring at the three cranes, the original, your red one, and now this white one. The petal hasn't moved, but it feels like a tether connecting you to Hannah's story. You open the journal, needing her voice to make sense of this. Her next entry is frantic, the ink smudged as if her hands were shaking. He's closer now, she writes. I hear him at night, his footsteps on the Ngawa, soft like falling leaves. The cranes are his voice, his way of reaching me. I want to see him, to ask why he won't stay. You swallow hard, your eyes flicking to the Ngawa. It's empty, the garden still in the fading light. You decide to fold another crane, a ritual to calm your nerves. You choose a pale yellow paper, its edges worn from being carried in your bag. As you fold, you whisper, Hannah, what do you want me to know? The words feel foolish, but they spill out, carried by the quiet of the room. You set the yellow crane beside the others, watching closely. The air is still, the house silent. You wait, your breath shallow, but nothing happens. The cranes sit unmoving, their wings catching the last of the sunlight. Then a sound. A soft creak from the Ngawa, like a footstep on the wooden boards. You freeze, your eyes darting to the sliding doors. They're closed, but the sound comes again, deliberate and slow. You stand, your heart pounding, and slide the door open. The garden is empty, the stone lantern casting a long shadow across the grass. You step outside, the air cool against your skin, and scan the garden. Nothing, just the maple tree and the faint hum of cicadas. You turn back to the room and your breath catches. The yellow crane is gone. The other three remain, but your newest creation is nowhere to be seen. You search the table, the floor, even the garden, but it's vanished, just like the green one. You sit heavily, your mind spinning. Hannah's words come back to you. He takes them, but he always leaves one. You stare at the white crane, its folds too perfect, too familiar. Did it come from the shrine, or did something bring it here? You close the journal, your hands trembling. The house feels alive now, its silence a conversation you can't quite hear. You glance at the garden again, the lantern standing like a sentinel. You don't want to believe in ghosts, in Ren or Hana, or whatever ties them to this place. But the cranes are real, their movements undeniable. You lie on the futon, the light fading outside, and pull the blanket close. The cranes watch you, their wings still but heavy with meaning. As you drift towards sleep, you hear it again, a soft creak on the Ngawa, like someone pacing, waiting. You keep your eyes closed, letting the sound fade into the night. You wake with a start, the room bathed in the soft gray of dawn. The air feels heavy, as if the house is holding its breath. You sit up on the futon, your eyes immediately finding the table. The 3 cranes are still there, the original, your red one, and the white one that appeared yesterday. The cherry blossom petal rests beside them, unchanged, its pale pink, almost glowing in the dim light. You haven't heard the creak on the Ngawa again, but the memory of it lingers, a quiet echo in your mind. You tell yourself it was just the house settling, but deep down you're not so sure. You rise, your bare feet cold against the tatami, and approach the table. The cranes seem to watch you, their delicate wings catching the faint light filtering through the shoshi screens. You hesitate, then pick up the white crane, its paper smooth and warm under your fingers. It feels heavier than it should, as if it carries something beyond its folds. You set it down quickly, your heart beating a little faster. The journal lies. Nearby, its pages calling to you, but you're not ready to read more of Hannah's words. Not yet. Instead, you decide to leave the house again, to escape its quiet pull. You dress quickly, pulling on a sweater and scarf, and step into the crisp morning air. The street is silent, the cobblestones glistening with dew. You walk toward the small tea house at the end of the lane, a place you've passed but never entered. Its wooden sign swings gently in the breeze, promising warmth and normalcy. Inside, the air smells of roasted tea and fresh mochi, and an elderly woman behind the counter greets you with a kind smile. You order a matcha and sit by the window, watching the street come to life. A few locals pass by, their footsteps soft, their voices low. You try to focus on the warmth of the tea, the smoothness of the ceramic cup in your hands, but your thoughts keep drifting back to the cranes. The woman, noticing your distraction, approaches with a gentle tilt of her head. You live in the old Machiya down the street, don't you? She asks. Her voice is soft, but her eyes are sharp, as if she knows more than she's saying. You nod, surprised she knows where you live. She smiles again, her hands folding neatly in front of her. That house has stories, she says. They say a young woman lived there long ago, always folding cranes. She loved someone she couldn't have. Your breath catches. Hannah. You want to ask more, but the words stick in your throat. The woman continues, her voice almost a whisper. Some say she's still there, waiting for him. She pauses, then adds, be careful with the cranes. They carry wishes, but not all wishes are kind. You thank her, your voice barely audible, and leave the tea house, the matcha unfinished. Her words follow you, heavy as the morning mist. As you walk back to the house, you notice something in the street. A single paper crane, pale blue, lying on the cobblestones. You stop, your heart racing. It's not yours, but its folds are perfect, like the ones in your room. You pick it up, its paper warm, despite the cool air. You glance around, but the street is empty, the houses silent. Back inside, you set the blue crane beside the others. There are 4 now, each one a quiet question you can't answer. You open the journal, needing Hannah's voice to guide you. Her next entry is dated months after the last, her handwriting faint, as if she was too tired to press the pen hard. The cranes are everywhere, she writes. I find them in my dreams, in the garden, in the folds of my kimono. He's trying to tell me something, but I don't understand. Last night he stood at my door, his hand outstretched, but when I reached for him, he was gone. You close the journal, your hands trembling. The blue crane feels like a message, but from whom? Wren? Hannah? You decide to test it again, to see if the pattern holds. You grab a sheet of black origami paper, its surface sleek and cool. As you fold, your fingers steady, you whisper, "What do you want?" The words hang in the air, unanswered. You set the black crane beside the others, watching closely. The room is still, the light soft through the screens. Nothing moves, but then a faint rustle, like paper brushing against paper. You hold your breath, your eyes fixed on the table. The blue crane twitches, its wing lifting slightly before settling back. You blink, certain you imagined it, but then it happens again, a subtle shift, as if the crane is stretching. The others remain still, but the air feels charged, like the moment before a storm. You stand, backing away, and glance at the garden. The stone lantern stands silent, but the maple tree's leaves seem to shimmer, as if caught in a breeze you can't feel. You sit again, your heart pounding, and open the journal to the next page. Hannah's words are a single line. He's here, but I can't reach him. The cranes are all I have. You look at the 5 cranes, their colors a quiet chorus. The original, red, blue, and now black. The Petal sits unchanged, a delicate anchor. You don't know what's happening, but you feel it. The house is alive, its story weaving around you. You lie back on the futon, the cranes watching from the table. As you close your eyes, you hear it again, a soft rustle, like wings against the air, carrying a wish you're not sure you want to know. The morning light spills through the shoshi screens, soft and pale, but you feel no warmth from it. You lie on the futon, staring at the ceiling, the events of yesterday clinging to you like damp cloth. The 5 cranes sit on the table, the original, your red one, the white one from the shrine, the blue one from the street, and the black one you folded last night. The cherry blossom petal remains, its edges curling slightly, as if it's been there for years. The Teahouse woman's words echo in your mind. Be careful with the cranes. They carry wishes, but not all wishes are kind. You rise slowly, your body heavy with unease. The house is too quiet, the air thick with the scent of old wood and something sweeter, like fading flowers. You approach the table, your eyes fixed on the cranes. They haven't moved, but their presence feels heavier, as if they're waiting for you to act. You consider throwing them out, burning them even, to break whatever strange spell this house holds. But your hands won't move. The cranes feel like a thread, connecting you to Hannah, to Wren, to something you can't yet name. You open the journal, its pages worn under your fingers. Hannah's next entry is a single paragraph, her words sharp with desperation. I saw him clearly last night, she writes. He stood in my room, his kimono pale as moonlight, holding a crane. I called his name, but he only smiled and placed the crane on my table. When I woke, it was there, real as my own hands. You glance at the cranes, your heart pounding. Is that what's happening? Is Ren leaving them for you too? The thought feels impossible, but the blue crane in the street, the white one from the shrine, they weren't yours. You pick it up, its folds perfect, its paper warm. It's not one of yours, but it feels like the others, heavy with meaning. You carry it back inside, placing it in the center of the circle of cranes. 9 now, their wings a silent chorus. You sit, the journal open before you, and feel the house shift, like a breath held too long finally released. You light an incense stick, its smoke curling upward, and speak softly, your voice steady. Hannah, Ren, I'm here. Show me what you need me to see. The room is quiet, the smoke swirling in lazy spirals. You wait, your eyes on the cranes, their colors catching the light. Then a sound, a soft rustle, like wings brushing the air. You don't flinch this time. You're ready. The rustle grows, and you see it. The cranes on the table tremble, their wings lifting slightly, as if stirred by an unseen breeze. The original crane moves first, its beak tilting upward, followed by the others, one by one, until they're all quivering, alive in a way that defies reason. You stand, your heart steady, and slide the door open to the garden. The air is warm now, the sunlight brighter, and there, by the stone lantern, you see them. 2 figures faint as mist, standing side by side. A woman in a pale kimono, her hair falling softly over her shoulders, and a man, his eyes warm but sad. Hannah and Ren, they don't speak, but their hands are clasped, a single paper crane held between them. You blink and they're gone, the garden empty once more. You return to the table, your breath slow and even. The cranes are still now, their wings settled, but the new white one is gone. You don't search for it, you understand. The cranes were their way of reaching each other, and now, somehow, you've helped them. You close the journal, its pages soft under your fingers, and feel a quiet peace settle over the room. The cherry blossom petal remains, a final gift, a reminder of their story. You sit back, the incense smoke fading, and look at the 8 cranes. They're just paper now, their colors soft in the sunlight. The house feels lighter, its silence gentle, like a sigh of relief. You lie on the futon, the day stretching out before you, and close your eyes. The rustle is gone, the footsteps silent. The story has found its end, and you feel it settle beside you, a quiet companion in the stillness. Some stories stay with us long after the words fade. Let this one rest beside you. Sleep deeply, and if it returns in your dreams, perhaps it was never truly gone.